Hello, and welcome back to Factorio. I have got my fluid handling, which is very exciting. I hate working with the oil products without fluid handling, so that's going to make things so much easier going forward. I can finally stop doing my inefficient not Vespine gas. Whoops, I'm playing some StarCraft recently. My what is this stuff even called? Petroleum. There we go. Petroleum gas. So the first thing we're going to do is fix that up. But the first thing that we're going to do is show off a little bit of changes I made to a few changes I made to the factory since last time we played, because I did get optics and red belts. Actually, so before we do that, then I guess I'll fix the copper array. So I put in red belts here and then just sat around to accumulate a bunch of stuff, just because I figured waiting for this to go wouldn't be terribly interesting. But I also made steel furnaces and started placing those down. And I also got optics, so I went and put lights all around the factory so that we can actually see it at night now. So that should be, yeah, you can see them here. Like I put them, oh, nighttime now. Yeah, I put them everywhere, so that'll be good. So I'm going to quickly update that copper array. I deliberately left one. I've upgraded all of the other smelting arrays in the factory, including all of steel, although I didn't do the belts for that because I figured that was not entirely necessary yet. Okay, we need 48 of these. So there's my steel furnaces being auto-produced there. So the reason that steel furnaces and red belts go together is that a steel furnace produces plates at twice the rate of a stone furnace. So these produce twice as fast. This means that with the belts the way I had them set up, this yellow belt, the reason there are 24 furnaces here is because that's as far as the ore can get before all the furnaces are grabbing it, and anything further past here would just be empty, and these furnaces would be getting hardly anything at all. But now that we have steel, and this is what the upgrade process looks like, these will now be twice as efficient. So not only do they produce twice as fast, but they use basically half the coal, because like they use the same amount of coal over time, but because they're producing twice as fast, they're effectively half the coal per plate. So this is actually reducing pollution in a way. If your demand is less, if your demand is more than what you're producing on the stone furnaces, then obviously you're increasing your pollution. But so that's why we do the furnace upgrades, and the belt upgrade is because this will completely saturate a yellow belt. But with a red belt, I can carry twice as much stuff. And so I've already done this with the iron here. We're just going to upgrade this. And so I have to make sure I get all of these things so that it, it's going to go all the way down to the end. Because if it's stuck on the red, then it's going to, like if stuck on the red belt, it'll get trapped on the yellow belt. That's what I'm trying to say. Only half the things will be able to go forward. And if I have a yellow splitter, that's the same as a yellow belt in terms of speed, so that's why I'm doing these. The offshoots, I don't need these to be upgraded, because if this is upgraded, that would be saying that I need the entire red belt worth potentially going into this copper cable if everything else in my factory is inactive. That would be ridiculous. One area where it might make sense would be for something that's incredibly copper intensive, like circuits. I might want the full red belt going through here if I'm ever in a situation where my circuits are just not, not being produced fast enough. Okay. So I've upgraded the iron belts all through the factory. This isn't, a super interesting process, but it's just general, whoops, let's not rotate. It's just general maintenance that has to be done on the factory from time to time. Let's just put all these in. Oh, I missed one. I clicked in the wrong spot. Interesting. How'd that happen? I would have noticed that pretty quickly, but let's, yeah. What happened there? I don't know. Just a misclick, I guess. Oh, one other thing I did was created 2 more furnace arrays here and upgraded them all to steel. And this is now going this way because iron for my my black science here, which I've finished up, it was just so slow, the amount of iron that was trickling in here, so I now have iron coming in here. And then this structure is actually reversed. So this iron is coming onto the belt this way. So this is the main bus. This is just black science. And green science, I suppose, at least for part of it. And then it's filling up this. Okay. One other thing to check, I guess, is what ingredients, what new things that we can do. So obviously, with our oil processing, we can now do barrels. And because our science requires the barrel, it just consumes the whole thing, which is actually really nice because the issue with using these barrels, which I have done in the past, is that you have to empty them. Like if you're transporting water this way instead of via a pipe, you have an assembly machine disassemble the barrel, which produces a barrel and water. And then you have to take the empty barrels out and recycle them into your factory. And so I did actually end up using these when I was doing a no belt, no pipe challenge where I just had bots doing everything. So I had bots carrying barrels of fluid everywhere, which was pretty funny. I actually liked how it ended up working out, but pretty niche. I think a lot of people they'll go their entire Factorio career without ever actually building these or using them. Electric engine we got. We do have a new science here, which I did check, which is why it doesn't have the exclamation point, just because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't able to build it. Because if I was able to build it, then it's possible I'd skip this and just go straight to this in terms of getting more checks out to the multi-world. But I couldn't do this because of walls and piercing shotgun shells. And I still do not have piercing shotgun shells, but I do have walls now. That's nice. Personal roboport. Oh, that's really exciting. Atomic bomb. I hope that's not required for anything down the line. It's possibly the most expensive thing in the game. It's pretty ridiculous. So personal roboport. I do have modular armor, which has a 5x5 grid, but the portable fusion reactor is a 4x4. So really, power armor, I guess I need processing units before I can really start to use that. This personal roboport, I would have to power it with personal solar panels, which I don't even have yet. So it's exciting to have this, but I don't think I can use it yet. We did get nuclear, okay. Bunch of really expensive things. Assembling machine 2s, that's actually pretty good too, because that means I can automate my red circuits partially using my design. I still need electrical energy distribution, which I don't have, for the upgraded power poles. And then we get pumps and storage units. And pumps require engines, which is kind of random. But we have a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff. Anyway, the plan for today is blue science. I still don't know where I'm going to put it in the factory. But at the very least, we do need fluids. So let's get our fluid stuff sorted out. Just going to top up my stacks here. And I guess I can put this in here. Will just be recycled. Don't need so much of my inventory held with the yellow belts. It's still nice to have some of them, because I will be using them for some things. Also, I think I did the modular armor off stream as well. It was just handcrafted for 30 red circuits or whatever. 50 steel. That gave me an extra row of inventory, because this armor has a inventory size bonus. There's another reason why it would be nice to upgrade. I do have processing units here. And now that I have fluid handling, I can do sulfuric acid. So that is actually something I could work towards. I probably should. Okay, just produce some of those. Do I need 2 engines for this, or just 1 pump? Well, just do that. Start filling those with petroleum gas. And that's for lubricant, which we can't do yet because we don't have heavy oil. But we can switch to advanced oil. So now we need water coming in as an input. Petroleum gas, the way this was set up, still goes to the right spot. Then we get light oil and heavy oil. Light oil. Right, I set this up in order to have fuel processing. This is actually supposed to be made from light oil. I remember. So we're going to do that. And flush the petroleum from this. That's a very nice feature that was added. So disconnecting that because I still use the petroleum gas up in the factory, so I need that to go out. Now I have these pumps in here. So yeah, this is enabled. This is why it wouldn't let me do that, because this requires light oil. And so what these are doing, I have circuit conditions set up here. So when I have more than 2,000 light oil in this tank, the light oil gets pushed into here. Don't know what that was. Or that, for that matter. Interesting. And yeah, so what is this whole thing supposed to even do? This is light oil cracking. This should go light oil to petroleum gas. Petroleum gas is what we use the most of, and if we get our tanks full of light oil on the outputs, we're just not doing anything anymore. So this is water, this is light oil from here. That looks right to me. Okay. Ah. There we go. Needs to be connected up. Alright, so what this whole setup is doing, if we have over 2,000 light oil, then we use the pump to push into here. This one is saying, if we have less than 1,000 light oil, and they're both checking this tank here, then we pump back into here. So this is just to enforce that I always have some amount of light oil in the factory. But otherwise, we're wanting this to go into... Yeah, so we're wanting some light oil to be cracked into petroleum all the time. But then if we have an excess of light oil, we do more, basically, is what this comes down to. And then heavy oil, we don't store, we just convert it all into lubricant. And then this pipe here should be my water input. It connects to here, connects to here. The first thing that we're going to do to get this going, we got our offshore pump. We have a need for I misjudged. I need for some water. And it's a bit unnecessary, but I'm just going to create some extra tanks here. Like that. So we'll have a nice tank full of water here as an easy way to see... Okay, trees got in the way. Of course they did. As an easy way to see that we have water stored. And if somehow our pipe ends up being destroyed, or our pump, I don't anticipate that happening, but if it were to happen, we would still have some water stored here. Yeah, 25k per tank. And everything is lit up. I never put lights down here, but I guess that's fine. Okay, everything seems to be working. Got all the flares going. Here we have... This is producing light oil, or it will once we have enough. So yeah, no light oil is getting in here. I guess a little bit is leaking through. Interesting. Yeah, we're just producing... All the light oil is being consumed here. Lubricant is adding up as well. And the important thing is that all three outputs are being cleared. If any one of these three clogs at any point, then this whole thing shuts down, which will probably be felt in the main factory when we are no longer producing plastic. That's what the petroleum is for. Alright, so, oops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to grab it from here. So this is... unnecessary, but petroleum's the most important. Most important of the gases, so I'm just going to put that so that we have a huge buffer of petroleum there. Still in that. And then I'm going to do this. Just so that I have a tank each of heavy oil and light oil. Just in case. Just in case I need it at some point. Yeah, and lots of lubricant, which needs to get to the factory eventually as well. Let's, well, let's just drag the lubricant up, actually. I know I'm going to need it. Since we're running back anyway, might as well save myself the trip later. The lubricant is used for electric engine and express belts. And I do have electric engine, and I need them actually for my power suit that I'm going to be building. Just get this closer here. I don't plan on doing electric engines or anything. Obviously, I can't do express belts yet. I think actually I needed light oil for something, didn't I? Yeah, I actually have to... I can't just do the corner. Turning a corner with this would cause fluids to mix, which is bad. Okay, whatever. Doesn't need to be lined up. In fact, we will, well, we are out regardless, but let's just cap it off with a tank there so that we can see our lubricant. That's nice and obvious that we have the lubricant there. Okay, so I need, yeah, light oil barrel and heavy oil. Oh, okay. Never mind. I wasn't planning on bringing both of those up, but I guess I have to, because that's how the factory demands it. Oh yeah, automated lights here. So I guess before we do that, let's figure out where we're actually building the oil, or sending the oil, so that we can build the science. We would like to reuse this belt. What other ingredients do we need, though? We have steel coming off of here, which is all we need for the belts. So actually... Now we have coal and iron. Do we really need anything else? Stone brick and plastic bar. Steam engine is just pure iron. So as long as we have a belt of stone brick and iron bar sent down this... or stone brick and plastic bar sent down this way. Firearm, does that require copper? It does, doesn't it? No, only for upgraded. Okay. Okay. I mean, I could just look at total raw. So we need one belt of stone bricks and plastic bars coming here, and everything else can actually just be from steel processing and from oil. So actually, I could just put it like in here. Do I have landfill yet? I do. Do I want to just build science here? Is that going to be enough space? It'll be tight. Okay, let's figure that out first. These trees are dying because of my pollution. We're just gonna chop off a little bit here. Clear some space. And then we'll do some quick placement checking. So I want 1 per second. It's 24 crafting time, but you produce 2 per pack, so I want 12 of these. So this setup was very space inefficient because I wasn't having the belts come in. For this one, it is 7 inputs and... Seven inputs and heavy oil. If I did 12 of these... That's what 12 looks like, with this spacing. Now, if I did... That's the spacing with something going in between them. Although it doesn't need to be in between each one, it just has to be in between each pair. So we're looking at something like this. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I think I have room. Famous last words. This is the problem with having this switched to... We're not doing red for this. This is going to be super slow. 24-second build time. We'll do yellow. So I'm looking at... something like this. Where we have 2 inputs. 4, 6, 7. And then also 1 fluid. think this works. Just get something like this. All right. Well, I guess we'll commit to it. That means... I don't know if this was the smartest spacing relative to these belts, but it's what I ended up with. And it's too much work to reset it. We couldn't possibly reset everything. And... I guess we could go in the other direction and it would be slightly faster, but... I wanted to hook onto this earlier. Alright, so this is steel coming this way. Iron ore also going this way, right? Because this is taken from the train now. Okay. Let's grab some more underground pipes. I'm going to need them. Probably going to break this up the way I've broken that up, so that just so that I can run through it without constantly getting stuck, because I already had that. Already wanted to get through and couldn't. It happened once, it'll happen again. Let's grab another 100 of these. Don't need any more regular pipe, I don't think. Alright, so I don't actually need the lubricant, but I do need 2 more fluids. Since the factory is no longer producing science, my pollution cloud has gone down and I'm no longer being attacked by biters, so that's nice. I have turrets set up to defend the places they were attacking, but just something to be aware of. I think we're up to big biters now, which is not ideal with my current weapons. I guess now that I'm doing more advanced oil processing, I could get a flamethrower. That would be exciting. Just produce flamethrower ammo down in oil processing. That's something I often do. You don't need to refuel on the flamethrower ammo that regularly, so it doesn't need to be in the main factory. Although it does require steel, so it could be better just to build it. Because we have landfill, we can get rid of that little patch of water. But I don't think we actually have that much construction that we have to do here. Most of what we're doing is going to be pretty simple, and I have to also consider if I even need to do the silly 6 in 6 out splitters that I've been using, the balancers, because I could just have 6 assembly machines producing barreled stuff directly, as opposed to having one producing it and then separating it onto 6 different belts. Either way works. I think just having one machine making it... let's just get some times, actually, so I can think about this. These are 1 second apiece. So for this, I need... because I have 12 machines, so I'm going for a rate of 1 per second. So I'm going to need 1 per second is one machine producing this is enough for all of them. And then it would be 2 because I have both light oil and water. So if I'm doing the 6 in, 6 out splitter option, which I've been doing for everything so far, then I could get away with just having one assembly machine doing light oil barrels and one assembly machine doing water. Alternatively, if I don't want to place the 6x6, and I think I won't just for the sake of doing something different, I would need 6 machines, one for each thing, which would produce way more than we actually need. But at the same time, it's going to be, instead of that 6x6 splitter for it, we're just going to have one assembly machine, which is a smaller blueprint overall in terms of physical space. And in fact, I'll probably reuse it then and have the one machine making barrels that is then used for both the light oil and the water. So it'll end up being 3 times as many assembling machines as opposed to 6 times, but it should still work out. Okay, and that gets all of that done. I need stone just to fill that in. It looks like 7. If I know my gel from playing Draw, that shape is 7 tiles. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this produces more than one at a time though, doesn't it? No. Okay. Well, if this wasn't enough, then it's very silly that I'm running this way and not actually dealing with it. Oh, it was slightly bigger than anticipated. Yeah, okay. Those weren't 2x2s, they were 3x3s. Well, let's just grab way more stone than we need and just craft a stack of landfill. I don't want more than 1 stack in my inventory, but 1 stack of landfill is fine. I think one of the Factorio facts was saying removable landfill is coming in the expansion, so that'll be exciting. The ability to deconstruct it. Okay, that's enough. There we go. So 7 and 7, that was 14 total. Okay. Right. So, time to start worrying about inputs. First, let's do stone brick and plastic bar, because that's, I think, the easiest. We still have this issue where we don't have better power poles yet. I should honestly just hint that, maybe. Not that that's any guarantee that somebody will get it for me anytime soon. I think our multi-world is at about 70% complete at this point, so I might have just been one of the ones that's rolled unlucky on my Factorio, because I did see that some people have finished their Factorio games already. I am not capable of doing that yet, obviously. No, that's the wrong spot. We're doing this so we can fit in a power pole that'll power those inserters. There we go. So we have, I'm not gonna, well, I don't know if I'm gonna do all of this. I guess I can start, I could do like half of it and then do the rest on camera. Still, I was thinking about that, because when I was doing this, I don't know if it would be interesting to watch me routing all these over each other or not, but it's always more interesting than I expect it to be as far as a spaghetti belt problem, so I might actually just leave the whole thing in this time instead of doing a bunch off camera. We'll see. But I will definitely be doing some of these first, getting it set up so that I can start the research happening. And then as I'm doing research, I'll add the others in. Also, I guess these don't really need to be this long because I just need to hook in at any point. This is what I've decided to do. Right, so we are going to use a 6x6 balancer for the materials that are coming in, the raw materials. I think this makes sense because I just have the one belt coming in. I don't want to have 6 belts coming in of plastic. That seems excessive. Okay, what was that? Was that a Stardew Valley? It sure was. Somebody finished a Stardew. Lots of checks in that game. I missed one? For some reason I'm feeling like I missed a underground. I guess that'll be obvious once I actually start sending things through here. Looks more or less correct. Right. Might as well go from here. So this is stone, brick, and plastic. I need to send it over here somehow. Stone brick is all the way over here. Plastic is here. Okay. Probably grab it from here. Now the question is, how exactly we get through here? Probably this way makes the most sense. So yeah, we'll just snake in like this. Okay. So in that case... It's going to be a little bit awkward. Always a little bit awkward. We'll go from here. Like so. Let's not go right up against it. Give ourselves a little bit of room so we can do that. And then we're just going to do that. Was this where I wanted to come down? I think so. That makes the most sense. And there we go. Six. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course. So we can have these raw resources be on the middle ones. That is a 6 to 6. That works out. Which just means... Well, I have fast underground belts now, so I can actually take advantage of some things. Okay, so let's just go as close to here as we can. Like that. And because we have fast underground, we're going to use it just for the distance. I guess means this one goes here. Like this. Yeah, having more tools makes things easier. I could have done this with right. It's going to be every one of these is going to be one of these. So we're actually going to need 5. If we have to go this far. Right, so I could have just done another underground in the middle with undergrounds going over the underground. This is fine. Okay. That should be... should be everything. This one's super easy to set in. I'm just going to put these in first, even though I'm not planning on doing... Oh no. Don't run too far. I'm not planning on doing all of this setup for each and every one of these, but I will do this one just so that I have the undergrounds in place, so I know what I'm working with as far as the others. The other inputs. And hey, we are right here. You know what? I'm probably just gonna need 1,000. Probably gonna need all of those. How am I doing for my reds? Grab another stack there. Alright, let's just finish what we were doing. So. Those lights make a huge difference. Pretty nice. Alright. So that is stone bricks and plastic wires for everything. While we're at it, just make sure everything has power. Okay. So that's one step done. Next, let's do... Steam engine and firearm magazine both only require iron. Which... we do have iron ore and coal coming in. So we could just smelt iron on site. We do need the coal for grenades as well. So like, that is an option. Or I could just cart iron over here, which would probably be the more sensible option. I do have electric furnaces. So since I'm thinking about using these, let's just start crafting some, because they're going to take a while. Crafting speed of 2, so same as a steel furnace. If I'm using electric furnaces, though, then I don't need coal. It's not. I don't know how much we need, so I'm just going to grab a stack of steel furnaces. And we're going to just keep adding them until it works, basically. With regards to iron, I don't think we need that much iron because these things aren't building that fast. This is a bad idea. I have iron. I've changed my mind. I'm going to actually just send iron here. Because I have iron that I'm not using. And the smelter arrays is a whole bunch of extra work anyway. So we're going to use this one. Because this line isn't being used for anything. So let's just send this along. At least to here. Well, we will do these. And again, having the longer underground belts is super nice. And here... okay, let's flip that so it's going the right way. And that so it's going the right way. And then we do this. Like so. Alright, that gives us iron plates and coal. So with this now, we need 1 per second. These have a crafting time of half a second. So actually, we just need 1 of these. But instead of splitting it 12 ways, how do we want to hook into this? Whoops. We do something like that. It doesn't have to be even at all, actually. I could even just do it with just one of them. In fact, yeah, it can... I'm doing these splitters so that they're going to them evenly, but it doesn't matter because I'm producing enough for everything. So if it prioritizes one over the other, it actually doesn't matter. So I've been doing... Now that I think about it, I just had an epiphany. I've been making this way harder than it needs to be. Because as long as I'm producing enough of them... Can't I just do this? Pretty sure I can. Yeah, it's not going to be balanced, but it doesn't have to be balanced, because I'm not doing something that requires balance. I'm producing enough for everything. Well, this is why it's good to not just use the same design over and over. I know, despite the fact that I've been using blueprints for a lot of things. Because I have just discovered that I've been very inefficient with my space this whole time. Okay. So we determined one machine producing steam engines is sufficient, because this produces one every half a second. However, in order to get 8 gear wheels, those are 1 per second, right? Half second. 2 iron per half second. Okay. So that means I need 4 things producing gears. How about pipes? Also half a second. Right, so that's 2. 3. Alright, so I need 4 machines producing gears and 3 machines producing pipes. And from there... we do pipe and gear. I'm probably going to use fast inserters for these, because I'm going to need a lot of them. And then coming down here... this produces steam engines. And if this is every half second, I think I'm actually going to have to do something like this. 2 inputs. In order to have this running constantly. Again, I don't care about balance. Assuming that I have enough materials coming in. And having an entire smelter array dedicated to just this is probably a good idea, because this is actually a lot of stuff. What was the other thing I was putting on this? It was ammo, wasn't it? Which is just purely taking an iron plate input. Let's just do that. You need iron plate input as well. Well, we can just do this. Actually, we can just do that. And then do this. Ammo is 1 per second. That should be sufficient. Yeah, using these blocks. I don't really like the way this looks, but it is kind of fun, I guess. Having this block so that you're not going onto the belt. They're different colors, which makes it better here. If these were the same color, it'd be more of an issue. Alright, and that's 4 ingredients down. So grenades are going to be by themselves, and then we'll have the 2 fluids at the end. So let's do grenades next. Grenade is just iron and coal. Just iron and coal. Well, we have iron here. I don't know why I always like having these be as minimal as possible, but I do. Like, resource inefficient, I should be making them as long as possible, but I like having the belt above ground where I can. Alright, so for grenades. These are 8 seconds of build time. Well, mathematically, that means I need 8 machines. I guess I really didn't need to fill this in. Oh well. It was a thing I could do. Oh, somebody else finished? Oh, Super Mario 64. Okay. Nice. And this is going to be our output, which is going to go away. I guess we're going to do something like this. Which means it should be spaced like this. Yeah, this is way better than doing all those 6x6 splitters. What was I thinking? I can just run over the splitters, can't I? Yeah, smart device placement. Pretty nice. Okay, we're using that landfill. There we go. I feel justified in having done it. Alright, obviously we need iron going to all of these. And long on the outputs. And because I don't have medium power bowls, I do have to place both of them like that. Okay, looks good. Let's just put some lights down. And that should be 1 grenade a second. Or I guess more accurately, 8 grenades every 8 seconds. Well, 16, because these are half build times. But these are half build times as well up here, so it works out. Alright, so that is everything except for the fluids. Grenades, and then I just need to connect up heavy oil, water, and light oil. Well, there used to be water here. That's fine. We have lots of water. And this is just being used purely for steam, right? So we might as well barrel that. So let's get... we could do something fancy, or... we could decide we don't want to be fancy. I had a feeling it was going to be broken, but I wanted to test it. We're just going to do that. Not that it matters. We're not using that part of it. Steel. Steel comes in. And I decided, because steel barrels are produced 1 per second, I just need one machine making this, but I have 2 outputs, so I actually need 2. Okay. Easy enough. Could probably go slow, but I'm not going to be that stingy. Alright. Steel barrel. Empty barrel, they call it. Comes in. And filling this is 0.2 seconds. Okay, so for output, I guess we'll do it around here. Let's just get this part set up first. So it's going to be something like this. Okay, lots of room. I do not need to be holding a steam engine. Dropped it on the right side of the belt. There we go. That looks dumb. Let's just hook it up like this. That's the way we're doing the other ones anyway. Okay. So let's get our spacing figured out. Same deal as the other ones. We just go 1 over. We'll fix that belt in a moment. And I think we can just do that, right? There we go. Except for the fact that you need to hook up. Okay, well, that's an easy enough fix. We just do that. Yep, and that should do it. And there we go. This is so much easier than what I was doing before. I am astounded at my own ineptitude. Okay. We have become a better Factorio player this day. Alright. And it still looks kind of cool. So that's an added bonus. So the reason I was sorting this stuff out now is because I wanted to know where to put the the barrel thing. This is going to be light oil. This is going to be water. Just make sure that's the correct one. It is. Probably that. Probably not. Looking at it. We are absolutely going to need fast. And if it's 0.2, I mean, it doesn't need to be whatever. That should be sufficient. Good thing I have landfill. And there we go. So is this outputting 1 per second? I'd say. Yeah. That should be 5 a second. Until we run out of barrels. Which, it's easy enough to add more barrels if I need more barrels, but mathematically that should work out for what we're consuming at the other end. Alright, so now I just need light oil and heavy oil, so that's going to be 2 trips. 2 trips to oil. Or if I bring the pipe with me on the way down, just 1 trip. Okay, I'm going to assume I'm going to need a ton of these. This is light oil. You know what? Let's just put a tank here so that we can see that we have light oil. We're gonna have to cut down some trees. Always trees in the way. And we're probably gonna have to cut down a bunch of these for heavy oil as well. We'll just go in a straight line. This is working pretty nicely. Until we hit our belt. Uh-oh. Also, I can't help but notice that something's going wrong here. Ah, forgot to change this recipe. We want solid fuel made of light oil. That's how this works. Yeah, these aren't running because they're full of light oil. See, this one's full. We're cracking it all into petroleum. Okay, well, from here we can worry about connecting this up. So light oil. We'll just go across like, oops. Like that, that's fine. We have light oil. Now we go back up with heavy oil. I complained about this not working before, and I was totally wrong. Like, I thought I'd done this before, but yeah, you just need to not have the other part line up. Just have the 3 tiles instead of trying to do a 5 tile so that you have a corner, 5 tile corner inside a 3 tile corner. Because that's what doesn't work. Okay, we can see the light oil icon on each of these, and the heavy oil icon is following us up. Beautiful. Sure. Go across at this point. Oh, there's a rock there. Weird. I don't know why I like having these pipes lined up, I just do. So it's not that much effort to do it, we're just gonna do it. Okay. From here now, that's our heavy oil. Oh, that does connect. Weird. We ran out. Sure do use a lot of these. When you need them, you really need them. Okay, we have heavy oil. And we have crafting. Let's just look at our light oil situation. The way that this is set up is I barely have enough steel for this, which means that the light oil will just not be produced at all until the heavy oil, until the water is completely full. Oh, look at that. We're going to investigate that in a moment. We do not have enough iron coming in. Wonder what the issue is there. But yeah, if I just sit here and wait, this will eventually produce at capacity, but it's going to wait for every single one of these lines of water to completely fill up before it starts sending out the light oil. And while we could wait that long, as a temporary measure, let's just double this up. It doesn't cost us that much to do it. Actually, that's still not going to be enough, is it? Alright, meanwhile, what's going on with iron? This should be... Ah, this is what I was talking about with the belt outputs. Like, it should have been a full red line. But because I have a couple of yellow bits along the way, it gets slowed down to a yellow line. I didn't think this was going to use up an entire yellow belt's worth of iron in one go. But since it is, at least we can very quickly double it. And it looks like doubling it might not even be enough. This does need to be red because how that works. But I think I don't need to change these belts to red because I have effectively 6 belts worth coming in. We will see though. So do we have fully compressed? Yeah, we can see this iron is starting to go. And we might as well fix this one as well while we're here. There we go. So now it's actually getting a full red belt's worth of iron ore, which as you can see, just barely gets to the end. And then it outputs a full belt. Nice. I love it when a fix is easy. Speaking of easy fixes, we're just going to do this. I guess we can leave those. This way I can run through here without having a wall of pipe. Okay, so we have full iron coming in. And it is backing up. Okay. Yeah, so we're not using a full red belt worth of... if I upgraded this to an assembly machine too, we might be, but we don't need that many. Okay. As for this... I mean, it's an improvement. But we're still not getting through. Like, we should only need 2, which is why I don't want to be building more of these, but I probably should, just because it'll be faster. But I mean, looking at this, it's going to fill up pretty quick. Tech tree. Let's grab the actual research first. Or the progress, rather. Seven of those, and we're researching blue tech. So that confirms that our blue packs are getting to the end. Oh, we have some oil coming in now. We'll just go to 8. I don't know why I did that when I could have just copied it from here. And that should give us some light oil. Lots of light oil barrels. No. Eventually. Okay, there we go. Starting to look respectable. We'll just have way more steel than we need. That's fine. Not like having more barrels sitting on the belt is hurtful, and it's not even that much. It's just going to be, you know, a couple more assembly machines worth. And this is already like more oil than we need, I think. So it's going to prioritize half of them go here, quarter, eighth, 16th, 32nd, etc. until it backs up. But yeah, we're already starting to stack oil in a few places. Well, that took longer than I was anticipating, but we did get it done. And having this many research labs is a bit overkill. This only really matters as far as researching stuff. Like if I had a backlog of science, I could research something else really quickly if I wasn't just doing all of it in one go. Because I'd be stacking up the science, but because I'm constantly researching, that's never going to actually matter. Okay, well, this is way more compact. I know it keeps commenting on it, but compared to this nonsense, look at how compact that is. More than enough space. That's way better. Better design. The longer undergrounds help a little bit, but honestly, this would be pretty trivial to fix with just the shorter undergrounds, just by having extra underground networks in the middle here. But that was blue science, and I might just handcraft the power armor. I can add an electric engine unit, processing units. I don't know, we'll see. Figure that out next time. I will see you then.